All right, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. So today I'm not gonna try to really make this YouTube video something like special with like all these like animations, all these cool stuff, trying to get your attention. You know, there's a lot of people that like to do that just to keep your attention. I don't have the time for that right now. This video is just gonna be pure raw information and just me talking about some stuff. So if you want to stick around, you can. If not, it's up to you. I don't really care. I just like doing this, so if people want this information, it's out there to help them. And if they have any questions, they can let me know. So in today's topic or video, because there's a lot of topics that I want to start talking about. However, the main topic in today's video that I want to really cover and really go over is the fact that you can start a business. Well, number one, anybody can start a business. In the US, you can start a business even if you're 5 years old. You going and selling lemonade is considered technically a business. But let's say more for a realistic example. Let's say you're a high schooler or you're a college student, right? And let's just say, for example, you know that you don't want to go and, you know, work like a regular job, be stuck in an office and just, I don't know, do all of that, like, you know, go to work from 9 to 5. Like, I don't like calling it the Matrix or whatever, because there's people that genuinely just enjoy that. They enjoy having a job that is secure. They enjoy having a job that they know they're not gonna, you know, get fired from like the next day. Well, that's obviously if you do your job properly, but knowing that they're just not gonna, knowing they have that income coming in so they don't have to be worried. There's people that like that. There's no harm in that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm talking about people that know that, I don't know, they want a lot in life. They want, you know, expensive cars, or they want to travel the world, whatever it is, but they need the money for it, right? They need the capital. They need that cash flow. So if you're that person, I feel like the best and most fastest way to get there, because there's no get rich quick scheme, there really isn't, but the most fastest way to get there, in my opinion, is through starting a business. Now, for you to become an entrepreneur, there's many ways. Everybody knows that. You can start a restaurant, you can do content. Nowadays, you can get rich through social media. Just you having someone's attention, you know, could become you a millionaire, and get you a lot of money. I'm gonna get into that later. However, yeah, you can start a restaurant, you can, I'm looking around me to see, you can start selling cars, resell clothes, anything. Literally any idea that you have, you can turn it into a business and you can become successful with it. The only caveat that there is with that is that there needs to be demand for it. In the market, there needs to be demand for it. Now, for example, let's say cookies, right? Cookies are very, very popular. Everybody likes them, but there's a lot of them out there. There's just a lot of different cookie brands. There's cookie brands from expensive, then there's also cheap cookie brands. So if somebody wants a cookie but they don't want to spend the money for it, they can just go to their near Walmart, their close Walmart, Target, or whatever, and then they'll find cookies for really cheap, right? So let's say you want to start selling cookies. There's a lot of cookies out there. There's a lot of brands, a lot of flavors, yada yada, right? Now you got to think of how can you be better than them? How can you be different for them to actually want to buy that cookie from you? Now that's where the hard part gets. Now that's where it gets hard, and then that's really what the whole business process is you making something different, you making something better so that people want to buy it. But yeah, the caveat is there has to be demand. If there's no demand for cookies, then nobody's going to buy it. No matter how good your product is, no matter how good the cookie tastes, it could taste phenomenal. It could taste better than a Gordon Ramsay meal. Nobody's going to buy it if there's no demand for it. Everybody knows that. That's very simple. So the number one thing that when you're starting a business you got to look for is you got to look for demand. For example, the first business that I started, well, it wasn't my first business because, you know, I learned this, but I guess the second, third, or whatever, I don't know exactly what business my video production business was, but the reason I started that is I realized that there's demand for social media. There's a lot of people out there, businesses, that don't have the time, but they want to be on social media. So what did I start doing? I started researching what I'm good at, which was, I was really into cars and that whole automotive industry. So I'm like, okay, there's people that have cars. Think about it. You putting those cars on social media helps get more eyeballs on it, which means more sales, or maybe you want to have a really good reputation for your dealership. So when people check you out on Instagram or YouTube or word of mouth and there's good stuff being talked about you, right? Social media. So I'm like, okay, I know they don't have the time for it because they're focusing on other stuff. So let me go pitch my service on where I just make videos for them. Guess what? I turned a simple service of making videos, which anybody can do with the phone. I had a camera, but anybody could do this with the phone. Simple service of just making videos and you doing some research and getting good at it. You can go get really good money with it. I'm just going to tell you that right now. There's demand for it. There's a market for it. and people will buy from you. People will buy your service, whether it's cars, whether it's restaurants, you name it. So for anybody that wants a business, you can go into that. It's really good. I will say that. And the reason I like that business is because now I learned content creation, and I learned the whole market of how to get eyeballs and how to get people to comment, how to get people to share, how to get people to follow your account. Why? Because now if I were to go create a product, guess what? Now I know how to get eyeballs on it. I don't got to pay someone thousands of dollars a month, because these agencies can charge you a lot for this. If you learn how to do it, now imagine you just create a product, you learn product design, blah, blah, blah. Now you got yourself a complete different business from the skills that you just learned from this business. So anyways, yeah. Where was I? Oh yeah, we were talking about, businesses and that. So that's a great business to start with. If you're looking for it, you don't have to, just an idea. All right, now that you know that you can start a business with absolutely anything, now you got to go and actually execute it. Now for you to execute it, there's going to be different skills you need to learn for this business. So this is where this whole main idea of this whole YouTube video gets into, is learning the skills needed for starting a business. Now, the way I think about it, and the way that I want to share with you guys, and this is the whole main topic of this video, is I feel like there's a hierarchy system, not really a hierarchy system, but there's a system of levels before you actually get successful. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me explain this. I don't think that someone, unless you get really lucky, if you start a business, you're not going to become successful in that first business, no matter what it is. No matter if you're amazing at it. Reason being is there's a lot of different systems and a lot of different stuff that come into that business. For example, you starting a business, baking cookies, let's take that. You're not think about that. Baking cookies is one of the things, but it's not all of the things. There's no main thing inside a business. Sure, I guess you can call making the cookies the main thing, but that's probably 10% of the whole business. Now think about it. Marketing, accounting, cash flow, inventory, customer acquisition, there's different stuff that comes into that now you got to start accounting for. You could be good at making cookies, but now how do you get eyeballs on it? How do you manage cash flow so you know that you're positive? Who's going to do your accounting? Who's going to do your taxes? Nobody likes to talk about the boring stuff, but realistically, who's going to do your taxes? Now think about, you want to start shipping your products to different states. Let's take the US, for example. Sales tax. You got to start worrying about sales tax. You got to start worrying, okay, where do I have to take sales tax? Where do I not? How do I collect it? Now you got to know taxes. And if you don't know taxes, now you got to go find an accountant. That accountant costs money. Where are you going to get that money from? You see what I'm saying? Or you start shipping stuff to the Europe or UK. Now you got VAT taxes or VAT taxes, whatever you call them. Now you got different taxes there. So now it just gets even more complicated. Just now you thought it was oh yeah, I'm just going to make a cookie, make a website, sell it. Well, now there's 30 different stuff that comes into it. And then once you figure that out, now it's okay, now how do I get eyeballs on it? Great, now you got eyeballs on your stuff, you're getting views, but nobody's buying. Now how do you turn those buyers into, how do you turn those viewers into a buyer? You get what I'm saying? Now you start seeing this, now you start seeing how people can stay on your website for longer and not bounce off. You start looking at different statistics. I can go on and on. There's different businesses have different stuff, but I'm just giving an example. So I don't think that you're going to become successful with your first business. And I think that's good in a way, because I feel like you failing at multiple businesses, you're going to learn more. So for example, you start that, let's say you start the cookie business, right? With the cookie business, you do great, but then you start losing money because it's the whole cash flow. You're not really accommodating sales tax. You're not accommodating all of the different products that you're using, all the flour, all that. Those are actually, you're paying more for that than you're charging for the cookies, but then the cookies are too expensive, so you have to lower the price. But now you lowering the price, now you're negative because you're paying more for that. And you start learning about inventory costs. You start learning about how can you make this cheap, and then it's just you're learning all this new stuff, right? So let's say that one you fail, but you learned that. Next business you go to, you know how to do that, and let's say now you're doing lemonade. You know how to do that, you learn how to do lemonade, but now you don't know how to get eyeballs on it. Let's say here you failed, but at least you learned how to get eyeballs on it. Then the next one, you know how to get eyeballs, then you fail at it, but you start learning how to convert those customers, right? And now little by little, every single business you start is going to get better and better, profitable, more profitable. And eventually after the 5th, 10th business, you're already going to know how to do most of these stuff. So after that, it's just finding the business that's right for you and implementing these strategies and just keep on going and going. That's the way I see it. So for example, with me, I learned the business that I succeeded a lot in is with this video business. Now I have all this professional gear, from lighting, cameras, whatever, you name it. I have all this professional gear for making content. Now, let's say I just decide I want to learn how to create a product, right? Whether that be a sweatshirt, whether that be a physical, actual, I don't know, like an invention, like something you would sell on Amazon, just something. I learned how to do that. Well, now that I learn how to do that, I just have to find a market for it, see if there's a market. And if there's a market, then that thing will now, people will want to buy it. Now with my skills with content creation, I can get people to actually watch that. I can get people to buy it. I can get people to give me information on whether they like the product or not, why they don't like it, what do they want to change in the product. And now with all that information, you can change it, and then eventually people will buy it. It might not be the first product. It might take you 10 products to get there, but you will get there eventually. So you see what I'm saying is, I'm good at one business right now and I can scale this. But why not get the skills I learned from this business and transfer it over to this other business and scale that business even higher? Because there's even more potential for scalability in that business compared to this. Because with this, eventually I'm gonna have to hire employees. It's way more longer. There, you create this one product and then you put eyeballs on it, and you know, there's a lot of different stuff you gotta learn, but it's creating that brand. And if you're able to do that properly, you could get, I don't know, thousands if not millions of people to buy that product over a span of a year or two. Now imagine how much money you're making. Why? Because it's that one product. It's like, that's why so many people are doing digital products these days, is because you just make it once and now all you have to do is just market it. It's as simple as that, and then people buy it. Like, you can sell $1 some planner or whatever, and it's $1, right? You're like, oh, how are you going to become a millionaire with $1 product? Because compare it to like an agency where they charge $5,000 a month for their services. Sure, that's way more, but it's way more harder to get more clients and to actually manage all of that. Think about that one product you make it once. All you have to do is find a market for it, market it properly, learn how to sell properly, and if you were to sell 1 million of those units, you're a millionaire. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into businesses, but the whole point of this video that I wanted to make is, I feel like you just need to go out there and just start, even though you're gonna fail. Like, it's pretty obvious you're gonna fail. I'm gonna say it. I know I'm probably gonna fail maybe in this next business I'm trying. I could probably fail, but I'm gonna keep on going. I'm gonna learn I'm gonna take what I've learned, and I'm just gonna apply it to different businesses. And you're just gonna keep on doing that. And I've realized with a lot of people that I'm just looking online, like successful people, is if you don't stop trying, eventually you'll become successful, you'll become wealthy. It's just a matter of, you have to keep on going and going. So the key takeaway of this video for you guys is, go out there, put yourself out there. If you really want to be successful in life, you're gonna fail. The earlier you start, the better. I will say that. The earlier you do start, the better. I wish I started this business way before, like maybe even freshman year of high school. By now I would have had way more information, but I already started it. I'm just glad that I'm at a point right now where I am. I still have a business. I don't have to work for somebody else. I'm able to, in a way, make my own hours. I'm able to work from home. It's good. I like it, and I'm glad I started it, and now I learned new skills. Now, for you, go out there and try something, whatever it is. Even if you know it's 100% failure, just go out and try. It's the idea of you going out and trying that's gonna take you to that next step. If you never go out and try, then how are you gonna become successful? You can think in your mind, you're like, oh, I'm gonna fail in that. I need to think of a different idea that's actually gonna work. Then I'll go out and try. Well, think about it. What if you go out and try, and by you failing, you discover something new. You discover a new loophole. You discover some new product. Then that leads you to become a millionaire. You get what I'm saying? It's better to go out and try than just sit at home. So key takeaway is just go out and try. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to tell you guys. The best advice that I could give you right now is just go out and try. So that was the video for today. I'm going to try to make more interesting videos. This video is just like pure raw information for the people that want it, and just my thoughts on stuff. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.